Hey guys, my name is Hap. Yeah, I've been away for a month, but I gave you 2 videos in a span of hardly 3 hours, so can you blame me? I'll try and return to the factor of 2 videos per month, but I prefer quality above quantity. And being honest, this won't be a standard review, as I plan to talk about the current game situation and whatnot, if I have the time. So, in the 252U, a tank that's surprisingly misunderstood. People think it's blatantly overpowered, that it's a pay-to-win tank, and so on. And sure, a friend basically gave me the means to buy it, thanks by the way, but that won't affect my review by a single bit, I can promise you that. Back to the point, it actually isn't OP, but I can definitely tell you it's overcooked in my opinion. The armor is just ridiculous, the tank has fair mobility, and for some odd reason it has 420 alpha, what? Okay, let's start this from the gun, since it will take the least amount of time aside from the mobility. The gun is probably the most IS-esque tank. Think about this, well, tank. The 252U has a lot of similarities between the IS-5, which is basically a less armored and more mobile variant of this tank. The gun has also a downright awful dispersion, 0.398. Other than that, the reload is also terrible. So terrible that I use calibrated shells instead of the RAM since it works better. The shells, however, give you a rather nice amount of penetration on the gun. 236mm on AP and 278mm on your APCR if you're running the calibrated shells. The shell velocity is also quite decent and the reload in the end is 14 seconds. Could be worse. I remember the good old days of 16-second reload times. The most interesting thing about the tank is its 420 alpha. Why? I'm genuinely asking why. I don't see why it should have it, yet it has that kind of alpha. Well, we will never know. The armor is where we get to the real issue why people think this tank is OP. Something around 130mm of sloped pike armor gets the effective values to over 400mm, yeah. Nothing goes through that in any tier, even the Jägeru at tier 10 can't do it with heat. The lower glacis is an entirely different story, so there's just no need to worry about that. If you're a tier 7 medium, just load Pramo if you see the lower glacis, please. It may be weaker than the hull, but it's still around 175mm of armor. And the lower plate is absolutely colossal. If you thought that the IS-7's lower plate was huge, this thing takes it into an entirely different level. Are there any other weak spots besides the lower plate? Well, there are the cupolas, but those are really tiny and pretty difficult to hit, but there you're only bet when you're in the front of the thing and you're taller than the 252U. Me and Hardy from the EMS clan have been collecting some pictures on just how BS the armor profile can get with some work, so I'll show you some of them right now. This is from the view of an E75 with its top gun, and the upper plate is completely unpennable. The lower glacis is an entirely different story and the cupolas are still hard to go through, so and don't even try the turret cheeks, those won't work no matter how they look. That triangle bit separating the pike plates is also a trick, that one is also immensely strong and you'll just bounce off of that thing all the time. So let's try the armor from a different tank then, the WZ-110, a far more believable opponent, trust me. 215mm of AP pen isn't too good for the WZ in this case, as it's the exact same story with the armor. Even the side armor of the 252U is pretty strong, just like the IS-7's sides. So if you ever meet one of these, fire either at the lower glacis or the cupolas if you have an accurate gun. If you can't hit those by any means, find a different tank. Don't bother trying to kill this thing. It's just not gonna work and you're gonna bleed hit points and maybe even lose the game for your team. And the mobility? It's actually expected for the amount of armor you have. Think something like an IS-6's mobility and you've already figured it out. Okay top speed, kinda okay traverse, and you're easily prone to being circled. Before we get into actually decent replays this time, I'm gonna tell you how I run the equipment. I assume you're running full provisions and a good ammo setup on this thing anyway, so calibrated shells. The rammer is also possible with that kind of reload, you might as well get extra pen. Improved modules, as you're not going to be ramming anything too often in this tank. The weight's only like 55 tons. And optics. I already seen people run the camo net on the 252U, and I honestly don't ever do that. Then the gun length drive, improved armor, obviously, and either the traverse control or the accelerator, whatever you prefer. Then the vertical stabilizer, toolbox, and the consumable delivery system. Don't run the refined gun, as your aim time is really, really bad. You wanna cut it down however you can. And with that out of the way, there are gonna be 2 replays from me and 1 from my brother, who also has the thing somehow. You might have noticed that I'm running the diamond camo on the tank. Trust me, it wasn't worth it. Okay, false creek. Now, since I don't actually hear myself when I'm recording this thanks to the speakers dying, I don't really know how loud this will end up, so sorry in advance. Since this is a relatively quick replay that just shows how much the 252 is capable of, I'll just quickly talk over the current situation that we have with these kind of tanks popping up in the game suddenly. Now, while this thing is probably not OP, I don't think it deserves to be in the game whatsoever. We've had quite a few of these mediums come up, quite a few of these tanks come up lately, for relatively extortionate prices and very, very, very unbalancing statistics, just like the WZ121G FT. That one is completely ridiculous, and even though it was in the game for 2 days for only $60 a few weeks back, it didn't need to be there. The same thing goes for the 252. It's $60, yes, but this thing doesn't need to be in the game when you have so many other Russian tanks, and just there are the same playstyle in most other tanks that you can get for free and still have fun in. I know it's wargaming trying to make a quick buck, but they should really take notice on how this actually affects the game. And with how these tanks have arrived in the last few weeks, they didn't affect it in a good way. The Badger in Tier 10 has a completely ridiculous armor profile, yeah, but at least that thing can be easily killable. This thing, if you're not a decent player, you're just gonna lose against this, just 100%. And honestly, what you need to do is to read up about this thing. Where do you pen it, how do you pen it, and how do you combat one? Because I've seen so many people, 40%, 50%, 60%, when it first arrived, none of them had an idea on how to pen one of these things. And that's what really annoys me about it. Just the fact that a new premium comes into the store and nobody has an idea on how to deal with it. Now it's actually better. Now you can actually play it without feeling filthy, even though over 200 battles I have like 20 steel walls in it and still didn't ace it. The skill bar for the 252 is set that high that I'm actually surprised that my brother has managed to give me a decent ace tanker, even though it shows quite a few of the bad points the 252 has. So, is it worth those $60? No. No, just no. If it's gonna arrive in the store for gold, let's say 12,000 a base package, then yeah, it's worth that price. But if it's worth anything more than that, absolutely not. This is just a perfect example of wargaming trying to make a quick buck, as they did with the Badger containers, the 30B containers, the 121B containers when they first arrived. And even though the 121B has arrived for a far less extortionate price now, well, let's just say that we don't like to talk about that one. The 121B is actually now a pretty decent tank. It's balanced well, actually, now that I think about it, but we're not here to talk about the 121B, right? We're here to talk about the 252U. So, this is a decent game. The 252 also makes a lot of money, and you can see that I got fairly lucky with a second class and a top gun in this. I had the diamond avatar on, but then I ditched it for a standard one because, well, all of these nice avatars keep getting me focused for some odd reason. Anyways, Yamato Harbor. I make a pretty bad mistake in the beginning, which I compensate by showing just how stupid the armor profile can actually be, and just how hard it is to deal with one of these things. If you hide the lower glacis, then there's very little chance that anyone is going through. If you're against a high caliber tank, something like an ISU, the ISU should just load HE if you can't see the lower glacis. There's just no point trying to get a full shot in. Just splash this thing for like 300, 400 if you hit it like near the top of the turret, and that's all you're gonna do, trust me. See that mistake? While you have an insane armor profile, you don't have an insane amount of health to sacrifice. And well, the gun, just look at the accuracy. It has issues trying to hit Carnarvon. It has even issues trying to hit a chieftain at that kind of a distance. So I suppose that would be. I suppose you can make an interpretation of how accurate you think the gun is. The reload is pretty bad, but that doesn't really matter if you're in a heavy position like this, which I suggest. Go into the front line, get a nice position where you can conceal your weak spots as much as you can, and every now and then just poke out and hit something for 420 and repeat. There's just no other point to playing this like any differently. You can side scrape, yeah, but I'd prefer you should side scrape with something like this in front of you, this kind of an obstacle. I tried loading HE there to like see if it goes through the cupola, because we have tried that with Hardy as well, and it seems it actually can, but I've missed and hit the turret roof instead. Whatever. But really, there's just, after all of the weeks that I've delayed this video, I still feel kind of bad for it being this unprepared. Sure, I do these replays without a script, mainly because I find it better, not by like seeming that I'm some sort of a robot from a National Geographic documentary talking about how a centipede stalks its prey or something. But what I do with these improvised ones is that I think on the move, what to say, what to suggest, and so on and so on. That's why some of them end up more like chaotic ramblings. Some of them end like that a lot more than others. Just look at the 5100 video, to be honest. But other than that, over the past few weeks I've had a bit of a mess in my personal life and my clan life. Thanks to Wargaming for not fixing any single bug that I've had with clan management since January, I had to quit the clan and join Vibes instead. Now, Vibes are good blokes, but if I could, I would not leave my clan and I would still try and manage it. But with all of these kinds of bugs, and just like a few minor setbacks or let's say delays in my personal life, my way of leadership was absolutely crippled. So I had to leave the clan, give the leadership to BDK, even though I didn't really like passing it on to him all of a sudden. And, well, now I'm here. Now I'm here with Vibes, so let's hope this will be a good time for all of us, I suppose. I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, this replay ended actually quite nicely, yeah. But, well, just wait till you look at the results. Second class for 4,000 damage, what the hell? Sure, I made 103,000, but what's the matter to me? Nothing, really. And, well, now we're getting to the final part. This is my brother, Heatus Goldie. He made a new account because people called him a 48% noob. So, I can't blame him for that. So, here he is on Full to Despair, against tier 8. If you're against tier 7, you're just gonna have a field day in this thing. You can absolutely devastate anything. And you're gonna see some pretty bad shots, him forgetting that he has APCR loaded and so on, but, well, let's just try and ignore those and enjoy this replay. I was trying to get some free jazz with no copyright infringement, but I was too lazy in the end. So sorry about that. So nothing nice to just set the mood. But I was thinking about making a tier 10 tank review, and I really thought about the STB, the E50M, the IS-4. I can do plenty of footage for those, but but with the new event, I am kind of at a I am kind of stuck on what to actually do. Either I'll do the Wi-Fi Firefly, Panzerfaust Schmalturm, maybe the WZ120 soon. Actually, if any of you want that, just like leave it in the comments on what should I actually review next, so that I have an idea on what to do over like the next month or so. Since summer holidays have finally arrived, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing videos over the 2 months, mainly because my family is at home and I need to. Well, not need to. I just want to spend some time with my significant other. Let's say. I kind of feel awkward talking about that, to be honest, because I feel like an idiot. but But really, that's just really all I want to say about the 252U and the channel in general. Maybe at the end of the summer I'll be getting a laptop from my older brother, his current laptop actually, which should be capable of recording the footage at a much better quality, with very little performance loss and actually very nice audio. So if all goes well, I should have a review prepared on the laptop for you sometime in September. Maybe after my birthday. I don't know. But really, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm sorry, but I really wanted to get this review out of my mind, since I was away for like a month, thanks to all of the stuff that has been piled up on me. And now that I think that I'm finally free, I finally decided to make this review completely, and I'll be uploading it this afternoon. So you should be prepared for that, I guess. I'm not sure how it's gonna end up. Just feel free to post your opinions about the tank in the comments. Like, I appreciate every opinion about this, mainly because the 252 is a very controversial topic at the moment. But yeah, that's it. My name is Hap. If you somehow liked the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the channel somehow, there is a PayPal link in the channel description, and if you want to send me a replay, there is a business email in the channel about section as well. Anyways, see you guys, and I'm just gonna finish. I'm just gonna let this replay finish without any special music. Sorry.